What's up, guys? I am back, and it's been a while since I've done a couple of these videos. I've just been dealing with a couple of things in my life right now that I don't really want to talk about, but I'm here now. Let's have a good time, and I want to have a good time. So I skipped on the previous episode because I didn't really find anything that much noteworthy besides them going to Unova and Go catching a giant Golurk, which was pretty cool, I guess. Not exactly a totem but it's a big Pokemon. And we also got to see a raid battle for the first time. And most importantly, we got to see more of Ash's Dragonite in action. And more of Dragonite's personality. Keeps on hugging people left and right. But yeah, I thought that was definitely one of the more funner, filler-ish episodes, I guess you could say. But what I really want to talk about, in my opinion, Go's first real episode. Because we finally got to see where he lives, who his parents are, and a bit of his background growing up. And I also do want to mention that they have a proper mini intro to these episodes, something like a shonen anime, because it explains where Ash is aiming for the Pokemon World Championships as he battles his way up to fight Leon or Dande, while it explains Go's goal to catching every Pokemon there is and work his way up towards Mew. It's just a nice little touch every time the episode starts from here on out. So apparently the Sakuragi Institute is going through some repairs, and the professor isn't able to let Go or Ash stay inside the premises, so they both have to go home. So Ash heads back to Pallet Town and Go goes back to his own home, which we get introduced to his programmer parents. One's a system engineer and the other's like a programmer. I can't remember what job the mom has or what job the dad has, but basically they ran their own company under the name Go System, and well, we obviously now know where Go got his name, and by the looks of it seems like they're like the only two employees there, which is pretty amazing for just a two-person company running all these computer equipment. I do find it funny that Ash mentioned earlier in the episode that he had to take a train to Pallet Town. Like, how far is Vermilion City from Pallet Town? You could just fly or take a walk there. I don't know. I guess based on the Kanto map, it is pretty far if you think about it, but I just get used to flying around, so I can't really tell if you need special types of transportations to get to one area. And how cool is this? Go is visiting his parents, and he's only 10 years old? Because he's on his own now, and he can live wherever the heck he wants. We also met his grandmother, who was an avid karaoke singer, and we also get a glimpse of Go's childhood, where he grew up in this enclosed room with 6 screens. Go is living a good introverted life though. I wish I had that much computer screens, and I wish I had his room. He's a total nerd, and I guess we now know where he gets his Pokemon research from. In his entire life, all he was just doing is dedicating his time in his room researching about Pokemon, and he never really had a real friend until Ash came into the picture. So Go pretty much grew up only knowing Koharu, which by the way she has a dub name now, goes under by Chloe, which kind of fits her. But I haven't seen the dub yet, so I don't really want to say anything too much about it. And it was kind of sad to see that he grew up in a home where his parents weren't there all the time, because they were always so busy with their own business. That's why when his mother got a call, they got so excited to get home just to have dinner with their son, until they got a call that they have to go to the hospital and fix something over there. And Go, being the good son he is, actually prepares some food his grandmother made and brings it to them along with another gift which he forgot or he dropped off at the bus station, which Ash attempts to give it to him in the episode. Along the way, as Go was trying to deliver his grandmother's home-cooked stew to his parents, he ends up seeing a karakara in Japanese, but as all of you know, it's a Cubone, getting bullied by a bunch of mankeys that was trying to steal its bone. So Go, being the good old protagonist that he is, decides to help the crying Cubone track down its missing bone. And you can see here Go has at least heart. He doesn't just see a Pokemon and tries to catch it right away when he sees it. So I'm glad he doesn't spam Pokeballs here on whatever Pokemon he sees along the way. He could have done that to the poor defenseless Cubone, but he didn't. And I'm really surprised in the Pokedex entry that it actually mentioned about Cubone's skull being used by its dead mother. Now, I'm not sure in previous episodes, sub-episodes I mean, that had Cubone in the Dex mentioned that, but I'm pretty sure the dub either censored it or didn't mention it at all when Cubone was scanned. Though in the games, it does say that. So I'm curious how the dub will handle this translation. And I like how most of Go's Pokemon is pretty much an army of bug Pokemon. Scyther, Beedrill, Butterfree is 3 Cascoons. I don't think it was used in the search to find Cubone's bone, but just thank goodness Misty isn't here traveling with Ash or Go. So as Ash attempt to find Go in his apartment, which by the way, it was apartment 707. It's really close to my apartment numbers now. I don't want to give any specifics because I don't want to give any personal information, but I just really find it cool that my apartment and Go's apartment have similar numbers. And speaking of Go's apartment, I just really love the fact that it's in that setting, that typical anime setting where a family lives in this modern day looking Japanese influenced apartment home. Because in the past, we barely see those in Pokemon because we either see someone either living in a home or someone camping out. So this is a really nice change of scenery, and you definitely feel that this is an anime made in Japan. Another thing that I really can't get used to is their use of the Rotom phones, or basically them using cell phones or smartphones in general. Because I know we had the Poke Gear in the past, but they barely used it, and it was kind of like old school looking because of like the flip phone style. But just seeing like Ash and Go like just casually calling each other through the Rotom phones, like, you know, it's like a modern day smartphone. Like, you just tell like, wow, we've evolved so much from communicating in Pokemon. Like, it took them that long to communicate each other with cell phones. So when Ash finally catches up with Go and meets them somewhere in a local park and they meet up, they decide to help out Cubone track its perpetrators that stole its bone. And another funny callback, I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, when they finally confronted the Mankeys. When Go mentions about 3 Mankeys stealing Cubone's bone, Ash said to Go that they can be pretty crafty. I wonder if he was referring to his past encounter in the original series where his hat got stolen by a Mankey, and it literally took him forever to get back his hat. That troll of a Mankey ended up evolving into a primate. But yeah, they ended up finding the Mankeys. Apparently, the Mankeys lost the bone in a pond somewhere as they were playing catch with it or something. So Go brings out his dugong to attempt to find it in the water, which, by the way, Go has like so many Pokemon, I can't even keep up what he has or what he hasn't. And it makes me wonder, maybe that's why they didn't let Ash catch that much Pokemon, because they actually want his little team to matter like each one of them instead of focusing on different ones. But I doubt any of Go's Pokemon will have their own character arc because he's going to catch like so many. But I'm sure episodes with his Score Bunny or Reboot now will have one along the way, and probably Cubone as well. I mean, just think of it like friends. I prefer quality over quantity. It's not how much friends you have, it's how much each of them matter, or how one values, rather than have a lot and mean barely anything to you. But Go's catching dynamic is still interesting because it's the typical Pokemon trainer that wants to catch as much Pokemon as he can. So I have no issue with it. It's just, I kind of understand how they let Ash barely catch anything, because they actually want to concentrate on the Pokemon, each Pokemon he catches in his team for each region respectively. And as they were finding the bone, the parents ended up seeing Go and Ash fly across the sky. And this is also, in my opinion, Go's first real catch, because he just doesn't throw a Pokeball in hopes that he catches it. He actually develops this bond with this Cubone because it got bullied by a bunch of Mankeys. Ash ended up finally meeting his parents, and it's so funny how they mention that Go kept on talking about him and his new friend as if he was really proud to have Ash as a friend, and they just write to him or tell them like how great of a person he really is, which is kind of cute, I guess. I mean, pretty much every time when he's with Ash or just mentions how much of a good friend he is, he just blushes about it, and I'm sure all the shippers are going crazy about that. Rightfully so. In the end, you see how much of an embarrassing friend Ash can be at times, where he looks like drunk or something, probably from the stew he ate at Ghost's place, and ends up like singing as the episode ends. Like, seriously, it's just funny with his mannerisms, even in the opening of the series where he just jiggles his legs and just dances like that. I just want to see more of that side of Ash, where he's just goofy and just wants to have a good time, basically, even if it embarrasses his friends. He just doesn't care. Oh, and his grandmother also won the trophy from the karaoke competition. Maybe that's why Ash started to embarrass him to prove that he's the better karaoke master. And as the episode ends, we get to see a very beautiful sight of a snowy Vermilion City. And I just love how we get to see a lot of these shots from Vermilion City that we barely get to see before in the past. So I just like that the city is getting a lot of highlights in the series. But yeah, this was a nice change of pace for Go. Instead of catching multiple Pokemon at once in this episode, he just simply caught a Cubone trying to help it out. And we'll see where his character arc goes from here, now that we know that he has a heart, or now that we know that he has compassion and actually cares for Pokemon and not treat them as catching bait all the time. Though he was never really about that. We just got more of a detailed look of his caring personality, and you can even see it when he tries to give food to his parents. And in other animes, kids would feel bitter about their parents not being there all the time, but in Go's case, he's proud of them and he's aware how hard they're working. So he's just like, alright, I'm gonna let my parents do my thing. Whenever they have time, hopefully they can come chill with me. But if not, I'll just stay at home and just research more Pokemon. Just wait for him to get home whenever. Just a wholesome boy, really. And of course, their parents are still proud of Go, even though he's not in Pokemon school, but they're just proud of him that he has another friend besides Koharu in Satoshi. So yeah, the next few episodes is going to be interesting, and I will definitely talk briefly about them and give some quick thoughts about it. I'm going to try to power through these before the anime comes back from hiatus soon. I know the next one's a spooky one, and I like it how in the preview it has this specialized spooky text as the preview ended, and I can't wait for that because I'm a big Gengar fan. So it's time to get spoopy next time. Boo!